Greetings, everyone. This is Larry Thacker, and welcome to the inaugural episode. I don't really count the intro. Hopefully, this will in fact be the first episode. I'm probably putting my hands in the way of the camera, so let me do that again. Hello and welcome everyone to what I hope to be the first episode of a series that I'm calling Blind Man Walking on this YouTube channel. And I do have an intro out there that kind of explains what this is all about, but I thought that today would be a great way to start. I've tried it a couple of times before. I tried it using Facebook Live. It didn't work out so well because I had the streaming would break up. This is sort of a low-tech operation right now. I've got an old iPhone 7 Plus on a chest strap, and we're just gonna head out. And the objective really is to both provide a source of information to people who may be curious about how someone who's blind or visually impaired — I do have a little bit of vision, full disclosure — gets around in the world, and also to encourage those who may be struggling to go ahead and get out there, that it's doable. You don't have to be afraid. Don't let your fear control you. Don't let your fear keep you from experiencing life. Especially here in this sort of COVID/post-COVID world. Everything has changed. Time to get out and have your life again. So today, I have a different objective in mind. I am going to go vote. My local office has our local voting place has the accessible voting machines. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to allow me to run this. I believe it's illegal while I'm actually doing the process, or I would take you through that as well. But we are going to go down to the city hall and vote. And on the way, you'll hear me chattering on about this and that, as well as see what's going on around me. So without further ado, the traffic will be a little noisy at first, but it should get better once I get south of Campbell here. But I'm going to go ahead and head out. I will, of course, I assume, if I can figure out how to do it, we'll be editing this down a bit, I would imagine. But I have had some difficulty in locating a tool that will allow me to edit video accessibly. So I'm not sure yet what the best solution to that is going to be. With trial and error and a lot of fuss and effort, I am able, using what little vision I've got, to get in there and at least cut pieces out that I don't want, which I assume is going to be the majority of my effort here. We're approaching Campbell, and the other thing I'm going to try to do is describe for folks who are blind a little bit about what's going on. I left my house, I turned left. I've now approached Campbell, which is a major intersection. We have these wonderful talking traffic signals here in Richardson, at least at some of the intersections.
Wait to cross Campbell at Custer.
He's telling me to wait now. I don't know if you can hear that over the...
Wait.
It got louder. That's good. It didn't used to be that loud. That's helpful.
Wait.
It's, there you go. And perhaps when I get home and try to upload this, I will see if I can't find the information on what those signals are, so that if your city doesn't have them, you might be able to get them.
12, 11.
You can hear the countdown
9,
there.
8,
telling me how much time I have left. I have made it. And so off I go again. Just about walked off the street there. It looks like we've got okay, we're all right. So I've got a pretty good distance to go here. But I am going to vote in the municipal elections here in Richardson, Texas, Dallas County. And I really encourage you to do that, to be aware of what's going on in your local area, because those people have more to do with your life in many ways than do the national elections or your state elections that get so much publicity. But it's a little bit more work, sometimes a little bit harder to get the information that you need on those. It's gotten a little bit easier now as people have become more aware. Technology has become a bigger part of our lives. It's a lot easier than it used to be to get information on these folks, but it does require, it's not in your face. Occasionally I am seeing now ads for city council on my Facebook news feed, but of course that's not really, other than letting you know that perhaps there is an election coming up. If you didn't know that already, that wouldn't be the best way to find out who the candidates are, what they're really about. The forums, the debates, the questionnaires, anything you can find that where they have to respond to the public in some way is a better way. But these are the folks that can often affect your day-to-day life. How much you pay in property tax, whether your streets are fixed, whether you're, sometimes even the price, or often the price of your utilities, just the day-to-day things. What sort of things happen in your neighborhood? What's allowed to be in your neighborhood? All these kind of things are handled at the local level and have a lot more to do with your day-to-day life sometimes. Not that the things that happen at the national level are not important, they're vitally important. But so is this. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. But that's what I'm doing, that's where I'm going. I suppose I could have picked a prettier day. It's kind of overcast out here. I am now south of the major street and just heading down this long, more or less straight street here. It's a little bit narrower than where I came from. Still busier than I remember it being in the past. Now it is about, I was moving up on 4 p.m. here local time, so it's probably a bit of rush hour traffic starting to account for some of that, people going to and from work. I'm actually sort of glad to see this much traffic. It's a good sign. It says that things are waking up. People are out and about. And I hear someone behind me. I don't think the camera caught them, but they it sounded like they might have been walking a dog or something. That can be a challenge sometimes, but usually people are pretty nice, not a big deal. I don't know if I can keep up a running commentary for the pretty good walk actually. This will be about a 30, I don't know, is that right? 30-minute? Probably, especially because I'm not hoofing it. I'm not trying to be in a hurry. I've been trying to get more exercise in the last few months and had a treadmill that I was using. It broke down So I've been going out in the mornings. Well, so far I've made it out a total of one morning. It was cold this morning here, at least for us Southerners. And I didn't go out. It was like 30 something degrees. And I decided to stay in, knowing that I would probably do this, and this would be my exercise for today. But that's important too. A little bit more about me. I am, well, I guess, why am I out here in the middle of the afternoon doing this? I'm no longer employed at my former, whoop, almost ran into that pole. I'm not paying attention. Kane would have hopefully caught it, but sure slipped up on me there. Okay, boy, that sort of threw off my train of thought. Where was I going? Oh yeah, I'm currently between jobs, as they say, but not really. I have my job for the past few years. My identity has never really been with my job. It was something that I did to make money, and eventually I'm probably going to have to find a replacement for it that brings in the money. Well, no probably to it, unless something really surprising happens. God steps in some way that I have not foreseen. But I'm currently in that situation, but I am also the pastor of a small church called Bartimaeus Baptist Temple down in South Dallas at about Jim Miller and Day Street. And it's south of I-30 there, if you happen to be in the area or know anything about it. But it is a small church that was founded about 60 years ago, a little more, with the express purpose of reaching people with disabilities. Now, I would have thought, if you'd asked me many, many years ago, I think I might even have heard of it before. But I wanted nothing to do with it. I'm like, why in the world? Why would you assume? In fact, I think I was probably a little bit offended. Why would you assume just because I'm blind I would want to go to a church like that? So, no interest whatsoever. But my wife, Linda, who has multiple sclerosis, found this place and was telling me about it, wanted me to check it out, and I decided, okay, I'll check it out because I want to keep peace in the family. My feeling was, let's stay where we are and make the best of it. We'd tried out several places, and we'd been attending this place for a while, and you know, I just, why can't we just make good with what we got? But I went, and I knew immediately that this was our place, that there was something for us to do, to be a part of. So we joined almost immediately. That was back in 2008. I began to help out. My wife began to help out. And this is, you know, not primarily a, what am I looking to say? I don't intend for this series to be primarily a vehicle for Christian expression necessarily, but then that is who I am. So that is going to come out. And I do hope I will be expressing those things as we go along. And yeah, I hope you catch it. I hope you catch it because I believe it's the truth. But anyway, back to the discussion at hand, or the monologue at hand, as it were. We became involved. I knew that from an early age I was supposed to be a preacher, but I had kind of put that aside. Didn't really think. I thought that well, I probably had made too many mistakes for that to happen. And if it ever was God's plan, surely that had, I had gone and messed that up. Well, I was to learn that you can't mess up God's plans. It's just not possible. And he did what he said he would do. I ended up serving as the associate pastor. The little church didn't really need an associate pastor, but I was happy to be a part of it and to help out in that way. The senior pastor was bivocational, as you might expect, and so it was a help to him for me to get in there and work with him, and so I did, and felt like I had resumed the path to the calling that I knew the Lord had placed on my life. Well, 3 years ago, almost exactly 3 years ago now, he passed away unexpectedly, and that certainly is not the way that I wanted this to come to pass. I had thought that maybe someday, many years down the road, after I had learned from him, and time had passed, that maybe I might end up pastoring that church, but certainly not this way. But here I am, and I really do believe in the mission. I have always wanted it to be that we have my wife and I have a nonprofit that is aimed at helping people with disabilities to see their full potential and find the path that God has given them. If you're one of the things I like to say, we've had people in the church at various times that don't have the ability to speak, and I have said, if you can breathe, you can pray, and God understands you just fine. Everybody who's still breathing on this earth has a purpose for their life. God has a purpose for you, and there are lots of programs out there to help people do the everyday things that they need to do in life, how to do independent living, how to find a job, how to different things that somebody might want, technology training, what have you. But very few, there are some, but very few spiritually oriented programs specifically aimed at empowering people with disabilities to do what God has called them to do in ministry. So that is sort of where my head is at, where our organization is at, and where I hope to lead the church. What I envision is what I like to call a launch pad, which kind of fits with the nonprofit and the mission accessible. But yeah, a launch pad. A place where you come, get what you need, we'll accommodate you whatever the need is. We already, we have an accessible building as far as the ramps and the restrooms and what have you. We have all of the materials that everyone else gets provided on the overhead. We have that in large print and in Braille. But our desire is, come, get filled up, get equipped, and then go out. Go out and do what it is that God intended for you to do. Whatever that is. I, of course, hope for a core group of people that's always there and always able to assist in the mission. But I actually hope for a high turnover rate. I hope we get a lot of people that come through there, get what they need, and go on and do what they do. Because that to me, that is success. That's multiplication. That's what we're all supposed to be about. The old saying, work yourself out of a job. Well, I don't think that'll ever happen. But I hope that we have a lot of people that start where we are and end up somewhere else because they're out doing what God has called them to do in what I'll call, for lack of a better term, the real world. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that comes out. I hope it's serviceable, because I really would like to share that with everyone. Hope the vehicle traffic is not too bad. I did say it was going to be a long walk, and so it is. I have. It's been a while since I've been out and done this on foot. I've gotten lazy. I take Uber everywhere now, but so I'm not actually. I don't remember anymore exactly how far away I am from my objective. What I could do is fire up anything from just ordinary Google Maps to one of several specialized programs that are designed with the blind in mind, that would call out to me not only the streets and give me the walking directions that I might want, but also tell me the things that are around me in terms of businesses and so forth. Now, this route is primarily neighborhood, so aside from maybe people throwing up home businesses or what have you, I wouldn't be getting a lot of feedback in terms of that sort of thing. But those things are out there, and I have enjoyed something that my father used to do for me when I was young, because he wanted me to be aware. He used to do that. He used to call out things that we would pass as we would go down the road, and it was sort of like having that back again, especially in an area that I'm not familiar with. Or for those of you who employ ride-sharing services, you know that a lot of times you could be going anywhere. You could be halfway across the city. You never know, depending on how good the routing is and how many people are on it. I've been to little towns that weren't even served by the system, because we had a driver make a wrong turn. Or I think he was following his GPS, but he had the wrong address in it or something. Did I mess up? No, I don't think so. Just crossing the street there, and somebody honked. I am blissfully ignorant if there was a problem there. I don't think there was. In any case, that's part of the deal. Probably, I'm not on my phone in the traditional sense. I do have a pair of aftershocks on. Those are bone conduction headphones. They are wonderful for, especially really for anyone who needs to be aware of their environment, out jogging or what have you. But particularly wonderful for someone who is blind and really needs to have their ears open. And speaking of ears open, I hear a pup running beside me. Hello. But yeah, behind the shrubs there, I assume there was a wooden fence behind that too. I couldn't really tell. But crossing another street here, we're all right. I really should be paying more attention when I do that. But I was kind of got sidetracked. Speaking of distraction, this headset allows me to be aware of what's going on around me a little bit more. But just like anyone, whether in a car or walking or what have you, we don't multitask terribly well. And I'm so focused on talking that I'm not paying as much attention as I need to be to what's going around me. probably not a good thing, and something I might need to be more cautious about as I do more of these in the future. It's also a warning to anyone who's out and about. Be aware of your surroundings. Know what people are doing. Don't get so caught up in what you're doing that you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. That could be very bad. It will be interesting to see the commentary, if I am able to upload this, about what people are seeing around me. All right, we looked this time. Didn't do me a lot of good, but we also listened, and it was good. But Aftershokz, AFTRSHOKZ.com, or you can search for them on Amazon. They're open ear, and I just wear mine all the time. I when I'm out and about, going places. When I preach, even, you'll see them on my head. We record the services, and I just leave them there because they don't. My phone, which of course has the screen reader on it, voiceover, can chatter at me all it needs to, and nobody else is bothered by it, and I can hold conversations or whatever else needs to be going on. So yeah, love these. I highly recommend them for blind travelers especially. One thing I will say about them, though, is that if you are a bus or rail commuter, they don't do well with a lot of noise. They are not very loud in an environment like that. In fact, the company ships you a pair of earplugs along with the headphones, and of course you might think, well, that sort of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Well, yeah, it does as far as walking around, but when you're stationary and you're in a loud environment like that, they will help tremendously in being able to actually hear what it is that's coming through the headset. Of course, you better also either have some app telling you where your stop is, or be able to hear at least enough to hear the announcements that of the stops you're going through, or again, you've kind of shot yourself in the foot there. But these are all things that we have to think about. And I hear traffic ahead of me, so I think we are almost to the point at which I have to turn, and it's a bit of a crazy intersection. Oh yes, we are here. I see. Now, I think, yeah, this is that funky intersection where I'm gonna let, yeah, I think I need to go over there. Remember that. People are stopped, so I'm gonna go ahead and cross. Because the actual place where you cross this Arapahoe is not where the that turnoff. There's a little turnoff there. I always have to tell the Uber drivers about it, because they'll drive right past it. But if you want to cross this street, you have to come over here in order to do it, and that too is something you would not know and would not see. But yeah, there are the poles way back here too, and these I do not believe that's not a pole. That's, yeah, there it is. Yeah, this no talking on this one. So you can see how that crosswalk angles away. This is not a good one. This is not an easy one, especially if you're total. I am paying attention to the traffic here, And I kind of watch those. You got to watch for the right turners. You also got to watch for, of course, you always got to realize people aren't going to necessarily obey just because ordinarily I might pull out my phone, magnify, and look over there at that stoplight to tell what I need to do. But we have enough traffic going on here that it won't be a problem. In fact, I think we're about ready to go. I'm just watching these guys over here. Not sure what that was all about. Okay, now we got people starting to move. They're turning left. But I don't want to wait too much time. I don't want to wait too long on this, crossing this, because it takes a while. Okay, all right, we're okay. We made it. Yeah, that one's kind of a scary one. But we're almost to the destination now. And I guess I'll keep this running until they make me turn it off. I guess if I don't say anything, they might not make me turn it off, but I won't do that because I don't want to be, I want to respect the law. And besides that, I'd sort of be incriminating myself if I save it or put it up. So we won't do that. Oh yes, I forgot about this little issue. There's no sidewalk here, so I'm gonna go out in the parking lot. Yeah, you're getting a good view of what it's like to travel as a blind pedestrian. Better than some of the things I did to start with. So maybe this is a good idea. Maybe this is would have been the perfect thing. Oh, I see sidewalk over there now. Oh, so I'm just gonna cross back over, get back on the sidewalk. There we are. Yeah, this is a good one. I hope this one comes out because it really does give you a feel for the process and what has to happen. And I managed to chatter pretty much the whole time, so as long as my camera angle's good, I probably think I just put my finger in front of it. But as long as my camera angle's good, I think we finally have a keeper. Hopefully nobody got a heart attack during this process, watching what's going on. Now, it's been long enough since I've been over here that I'm not sure I remember where I want to be. Let's see. I think there's yet another entrance for me to go in that's a little bit closer to my objective. So I'm going to keep moving. If I am able to see the library building when I get up next to it, so I'll know if I hit the library, or if I start passing the library, I'll know that I have made a mistake. But I think I'm good. I think I'm doing the right thing so far. I've lost or never received it. I'm not sure what happened. Somehow the voter registration card I have is an old one. But that's all right. I didn't even bother bringing it because they have that information on file. I do have the ID. And, that's here I am going into that arena again, but folks, if I can get an ID, anybody can get an ID. This is nonsense that it's somehow racist or wrong to make people get an ID. So, all right, this I believe is where I want to turn. But if not, I know enough about where I am that I'll be able to reorient. Yeah, there we go. I see the building there, I think. We are doing the right thing. All right. Gonna have people around here soon. I'll wait till I get closer to my objective and then I'll slap on the silly old mask. But right now, we're not quite to our objective and I don't feel the need to do that. I guess people are a little bit more used now to people walking about, speaking to the air, because everybody's got these things now, but still feels a little funny when I know there's folks around to be doing it, but I have a good reason. Let's see, is this where I wanted to go? I think it'll work. Okay, yeah, I just need to go a little further up. We have almost reached our destination. Our civic center is back over here, and I will soon be shutting it down so that we don't break any rules. In fact, I think this might be about a good place to do that. So I'm going to stop and say again, this is Larry Thacker. This is hopefully going to be the first actual episode anyway, of the Blind Man Walking experience. I hope that you have been educated and encouraged, and we'll do this again, and I'm sure we'll do it better next time, but I think this one just might be a keeper. I'm excited about that. Now, bear with me as I wonder if that will stop it. I don't know for sure. We'll just have to do it this way.